Joyous Kusa Kwanzaa. Hi, my name is Gary the Rainbow, and you can follow me on a variety of social media outlets Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Today, we're going to talk about Siku Ninye, which is day 4 in Swahili, Tigani, which is Swahili for what's the tea. Today's group and principle is, I pronounce this one is a little bit harder too, is a, a limu, which is education. And so, in terms of education, I'm still learning how to pronounce a variety of different words in the Swahili language. And there's two symbols for today. The first symbol is the kinara, which is the candle holder, which is this wooden block as you can see here. Probably can't see because of the video, but I'll lift it up so you can see. This is the kinara. And this is symbolic of our roots and our parent people, the parent people, the original ancestors from Africa. Symbol two is the Mishuma Saba, which is the 7 candles as pictured here. Typically, for the Mishuma Saba, as I said in previous videos, Kuchu Kwanzaa is adapted from Kwanzaa and is celebrated with rainbow candles instead of the traditional Pan-African red, black, and green candles that is typically associated with Kwanzaa. However, as I stated in previous video, that this is my first year celebrating Kuchu Kwanzaa, and I learned about Kuchu Kwanzaa less than 2 weeks before the holiday began, so I did not have enough time, unfortunately, to get rainbow candles here to me before the celebration for 2020. So instead, I'm using the Kinara and the Mishuma Saba from Kwanzaa for this year's celebration. And so these rainbow candles is supposed to be red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet are symbolic of Yuguzo Saba, the 7 principles, the matrix and the minimum set of values which Black LGBTQIA people are urged to live by in order to achieve our goals, liberty, happiness, in our own image and according to our own needs. The candle for today color is indigo, which stands for self-mastery and intuition. Day 4 candle, let's go ahead and light that. Again, imagine this was an indigo candle. Day 4 of Kuchu Kwanzaa is traditionally observed on December 29th. Today's principle, elimu, which is Swahili for education, asks us to strive for the highest level of formal and informal education attainment and vast acquisition of authentic experience. Both of our founders here have both attained higher education as well. Specifically here, I know that the doctor here, Dr. Lewis, he is an actual, I believe it's a PhD background. So Dr. Lewis Graham does have a doctoral degree, and I believe it's a PhD, if I'm not mistaken. If I am incorrect, please correct me on what type of doctoral degree Dr. Graham has. But in terms of the strive for the highest level of formal and informal educational attainment and vast acquisition of authentic experience. So highlighting that second component is the vast acquisition of authentic experience. So it doesn't mean education has to be always formalized. So how can you observe day 4 of Kuchu Kwanzaa? You can start a new book, you can learn a new word, do something you've never done before, and begin to assess how you want to grow and learn in the new year, specifically in the upcoming year of 2021. So today I decided that I'm going to cover a variety of the different ways to observe for today. So first, I want to talk about a learned I word, and so a word I learned. I said a learned I word backwards. So a word I recently learned between yesterday and today while researching is the word spelled Oeuvre, And it's pronounced, again, I've been really working on my pronunciation with new words, oeuvre. And oeuvre means the works of a painter, composer, or author regarded collectively. So, for example, the complete oeuvre of James Baldwin. A lot of individuals who may not know James Baldwin was an author who has a variety of different writings. And so, this example for the word oeuvre would be the complete oeuvre of James Baldwin, meaning the works collectively of him as an author. So that's the word I learned today. I really suggest for you all to go out and take some time to learn a new word. Dictionary.com and other websites have random word generators where you can just pick a random word and learn the meaning of it if you already don't know the meaning of the word. In addition to learning the meaning of words, it's important to not only learn the meaning of the words, but to use the words in our everyday vocabulary when appropriate. The next thing I want to talk about how to observe today is book suggestions. So it says read a new book. And so one thing I will have to admit that I am not one to completely read a book from left to right, top to bottom, page to page, front to back. I do a lot of skimming and going to different parts of the book, and sometime in the mood to start on chapter 5 and go to chapter 7 and jump back to 1 or 3. And so that's always been the way in terms of me interpreting, analyzing, and inputting information into myself. However, I do have a variety of books I want to talk about today, and some of them are shown here as well too. But first, let's talk about book suggestions in terms of intersectionality. Intersectionality of either one or more of the following areas of race, ethnicity, class, gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation, etc. So, book suggestions I'm going to provide today are three of them in terms of intersectionality. So, the first book I'm going to suggest is called A Burst of Light and Other Essays, hardcover book by Audre Lorde. The book description says the winner of the 1988 Before Columbus Foundation National Book Award, this path-breaking collection of essays is a clarion call to build communities that nurture our spirits. Lord announces the need for radical politics of intersectionality while struggling to maintain her own faith as she wages a battle against liver cancer. From reflections on from her struggle with the disease to thoughts on lesbian sexuality and African American identity in a straight white man's world, Lord's voice remains enduringly relevant in today's political landscape. So please check out A Burst of Light and Other Essays by Audre Lorde. The second book regarding intersectionality, I like to highlight. And the third one, I don't have descriptions because I want to try to keep these videos a little bit short. I got more content I want to get to. But another one I want to highlight is called Unapologetic, a Black, Queer, and Feminist Mandate for Radical Movements, hardcover book by Charlene Carruthers. I have an aunt named Charlene, spelled the same way. Love her to death. And the final book I'm suggesting relating to intersectionality is titled The Truth That Never Hurts, Writings on Race, Gender, and Freedom. And this is a paperback by Barbara Smith. And so Audre Lorde and Barbara Smith, if you remember on day one, were some of the Black LGBTQIA plus pioneers and trailblazers that were highlighted. So these three book suggestions, A Burst of Light and Other Essays by Audre Lorde, Unapologetic, a Black Queer Feminist Mandate for Radical Movements by Charlene Carruthers, and The Truth That Never Hurts, Writings on Race, Gender, and Freedom by Barbara Smith. Now I'm going to move on to three book suggestions relating to race and or racism. And so the first one I would like to highlight. So the next set of books I actually have for that came across my life for other reasons. And so the first one I have here is called Essential Black Wisdom: Quotes of Inspiration and Strength. Um, I'm an educator by day in my paid full-time professional career. And so one of my former students gave me this book um, this past 2020 for my birthday. And so this book is less than a year old in terms of being in possession of me. However, I wanted to highlight the book because this book has really gotten me through 2020. 2020 has really been challenged for a lot of us in a variety of different ways, all the way from the economy to the COVID-19 slash coronavirus pandemic to racial inequality and race relations, etc. So there's been a lot of issues happening in 2020, world disasters, and so this book has really got me through this year. And so I want to read a little bit more about this book that I have here. The African, so this book is called Essential Black Wisdom, Quotes of Inspiration and Strength. It is edited by Carol Kelly Ganji. The description of the book goes, the African American experience encompasses a rich array of written and oral wisdom that speaks to every aspect of the human condition. Essential African American Wisdom is a provocative collection of more than 350 quotations from some of the extraordinary Black American people whose words and deeds have shaped our national heritage in a number of ways from colonial times to the present. The insights and aphorisms collected here are drawn from speeches, autobiographies, essays, interviews, novels, folk sayings, and songs, and are arranged thematically to reflect the subjects most important to the speakers themselves. So this is a great book to pick up. I looked up the price of the book after I received it as a gift. It's a very inexpensive book. But one quote that's on the back of the book here that's really interesting. It says, "My humanity is bound up in yours, for we can only be human together," by Desmond Tutu. So it's the last quote at the very bottom of the book here. The other two books I would like to highlight here is I have right here is How to Be an Anti-Racist. And the other one here is called White Fragility. Why is it so hard for white people to talk about racism? And so all of these books are available online in your local library, or you can request for your local library to have these items transferred to your local library for renting. You can also purchase these books as well too through a variety of booksellers and other retailers online and in your local community. So that's what I have for today for day 4, Siku Yumi, which is the 4th day. And so we talked about self mastery, intuition. The word that we learned for today is uva. And then I provided some book suggestions relating to intersectionality and some books relating to race and racism. Again, thank you so much for joining in today on day 4 of our Kwanzaa celebration. Join us tomorrow for day 5 as we go on to continue our 2020 Kutu Kwanzaa celebration. Joyous Kutu Kwanzaa to all. Take care and have a great day.